Welcome to Humboldt State Tonight. JB Mathers joined with head football coach Rob Smith. Coach, obviously the huge story out of nowhere, Western Washington University, where you're the all-time winningest coach.
Right.
They've closed doors on their program. Your reaction?
Just the stunning shock, you name it. There's a program that I spent 20 years of my life working to build up, and to have it dropped in the manner that it was dropped, without giving football or anyone affiliated with football the very passion of the alumni group, without giving anyone a chance to fight for it, to me is wrong, tremendously disrespectful to everyone that had worked so hard over the years to build that program. So it is a sad, sad day.
What was the Vikings' reasoning for saying we've got to get rid of football? Coming off a very successful year, they come in second place in the GNAC and win the Rotary Bowl.
Absolutely, and really had it turned around. The reason behind it was all budgetary, but having worked there as long as I did, I can look at some areas where I just think they could have made some positional cuts as opposed to program cuts.
All right. For you, what was the reaction as far as a coach in the conference? Take yourself away from Western Washington as the coach for Humboldt State. What does it mean for you? What was your reaction as the Humboldt State coach, not a former Viking?
Well, as a football coach, you just hate to see it. Obviously, we're in this profession because we recognize the value of our sport like any sports. And as a football coach, whether it be at Western or here at Humboldt State, I've always viewed what I do and what our players do as part of the educational process, not separate from, and that we are educators, instructors, the things that we are able to teach on the playing field, that Tom and Jody teach on the court, or Frank teaches on, and Andy, they teach on their field to play. There's so much value, I think, that comes from that. And all you have to do is talk to former student athletes that have played their sport, regardless of what sport that is, and the things that they learned from their time, from that participation. So we've always viewed ourselves as part of the educational process. From a standpoint here as a football coach now at Humboldt State, obviously it creates some scheduling issues. The conference goes from 5 teams down to 4 teams. And since we were playing everybody in the conference twice anyway, it now creates 2 additional open dates for us. So we're going to have to try to fill those games at a time where traveling to or from Arcata is difficult. And now
it's not a cakewalk. I think anybody who lives here
it's
can
clearly not.
recognize that.
It's clearly not. And we now have to look outside of our conference and find games that fit for us. So it's created some challenges. I was very, very pleased, however, that our administration was proactive in coming out and restating their support for the football program here at Humboldt State. President Richmond, Vice President Butler, Athletic Director Dan Cullen, all are very supportive and recognize the value of football here at HSU, and we have a very supportive and I believe passionate group of boosters. It's one of the things that drew me to this program after leaving Western Washington, and we have something very, very special here. I think everyone recognizes that, and they're going to work hard to maintain it.
Well, what I love, the president, he called Dan Cullen and said, don't panic, don't worry. We're moving forward.
Absolutely.
This is not even an issue here at Humboldt State. And I know as a football alum and as a big fan, that meant a lot to me.
Well, I'm glad it does, and I hope it means a lot to all football alumni, because it certainly should. To have a president, to have a vice president, to have an athletic director that are willing to stand up and say, hey, we recognize the importance of football here at Humboldt State. We recognize how important it is to not only our university, but to the alumni that are out there and to the supporters here in Humboldt County. Nice to see that.
Well, with that said, the president wants to win games too. He's not a huge X's and O's guy.
So does the football
He's a
coach.
scoreboard guy. He wants to win, and part of that means more money coming to Humboldt State. You've got 2 new things that I want to talk about today: the JFAN and JFAST. Let's start with JFAN. What is that?
Well, both are our attempts to do some things that maybe have not been done here before, in terms of a very proactive, aggressive approach to reach out to not just our football alumni, but to all of our supporters, and hopefully create some fundraising through that process. JFAN stands for Jack Football Alumni Network. And it should be Jack Football Alumni and Friends Network. It is a network or our attempt to reach out and reattach the football alumni primarily, back to this university. One thing I've heard since I came here nearly a year ago now is that many of these former players, they've never been asked. They haven't been kept in contact like they want to. And so that's kind of our effort to do that. And that's hard to do. But there's strength in numbers when it comes to football. There are Jack football alumni all over the state of California, all over the United States. And so the JFAN program, $150 membership for an annual membership, gives us a chance to kind of develop a database of former Jack players that we can really draw from. It can raise some money, yes, but primarily it's designed to reattach our football alumni. There's strength in numbers in football, to reattach our football alumni back to HSU, to keep them informed as to what our program is doing. We need their support. We want their support. Their support is important, and the JFAN hopefully will help us do that.
All right, well, sign me up. Consider me in. I'm a former player. I'm in. I'm part of JFAN as of right now. Okay, JFAST. This is the big one. Tell me about JFAST.
JFAST is our scholarship campaign. JFAST stands for Jack Football Alumni Scholarship Team. All right, got pretty creative with those things, didn't we?
I like it.
But it's we have different levels, starting at the $500 level all the way up to the $15,000 level. We're looking for 5-year pledges for scholarship support. As you look at scholarships in the GNAC, I think everybody knows that Humboldt State in football struggles when it comes to providing scholarships for our players. We are less than half than our competition in the GNAC and less than a third of what they have nationally. So we need to close that gap. We need to level the playing field. The JFAST program is designed to do that. It's kind of a subsidiary of JFAN, if you will, but it is our campaign to go out and do all that we can to increase this scholarship gap. We have a goal for 2009 to raise $150,000 through the JFAST program, and that's an attainable goal.
All right, well, hey, to learn more about it and more importantly, to give, go to hsujacks.com. Coach, thank you. I'm glad you're here, not at Western Washington.
No, so am I.
Yeah,
so am I. This is where I want to be.
All right, we're talking HSU basketball. And I know you've got some recruits who will be loving the basketball this weekend. I want to thank Rob Smith. I'm JB Mathers. It is Humboldt State tonight. We're talking HSU basketball next.